God knows that you're making a difference and you're doing good for people, but Satan feels threatened. He's going to put those negative thoughts. So if you are one of those people out there and you are putting content and you are just trying to make some little difference and you question yourself or doubt whether you are making a difference, stop doing that.
Every single day, you don't need to come in here and give 2 hours of training. You need to do what you can. If that day, all you can do is step away from your desk, lay down and do 200 push-ups, take 5 minutes to do it, and get back to work, okay, you can look at that day and say, I did what I could do. Hey, what's up, guys? Chad Cabalka here with Garrett Townsend, and this is Burn the Ships. It's been a little bit since Garrett and I got together. Holiday season, business, just life. But man, it is so good to be back with you. This place fills my heart with so much joy and gratitude. How you doing, GT?
Dude, I'm good, man. You know what? Part of what we're going to talk about today is we can get a little bit better and a little bit more consistent in some areas of our life. One being just you and I doing more together, but also giving the people a little bit more Burn the Ships this year. And let's, man, you know what? Thank you for this year.
It has been a wild ride this year.
It's been a great year, but man, I mean, honestly, this time of the year for me, I mean, I'm a very grateful human being to begin with, just because I feel like everything that we have is a blessing, but you've been more than just the normal blessing to me. So man, I am super grateful for you, your family, and I'm excited for what we're going to do next year, man.
Wow, man, that made driving all the way out here to the sticks completely worth it, man. Thank you so much.
Trip to Kansas, huh?
It literally goes without saying. Shoot, you may have been a lifesaver this year more than just a life changer. And I love you. I love your family. The blessings that you have provided to us literally can't go unsaid. Without you guys in our lives, I don't know where we'd be this year. So I love you.
Just so you guys know, this is real love right here, man.
This is real love.
This is real love.
Outside the podcast, outside of business, whatever, man. It is such a blessing to have you and Rachel and your kids in our lives. And I love all of you beyond words.
Well, buddy, thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's dig in, man. You know what, guys? We were going to keep this super cash today. Kind of recap this year. Some things that maybe we did great. Some things that we didn't do so great. Maybe we can sharpen our pencils, but more maybe some of the lessons that we got from it and what we're going to do moving into 25. And man, I'm super stoked. And,
before we jump into that, we thanked each other, but I want to take a second to thank you guys. I can't tell you how many times I've been out and about here in Denver or gotten messages on YouTube or comments on YouTube or social media, whatever, from you guys saying that what we're doing is that it actually matters to you and that you appreciate it and you think we're doing a good job. I mean, we're just a couple of guys trying to throw this together on the internet, but thank you guys for coming on this journey with us. Thank you for the kind words, the love, the support, for liking, commenting, and sharing. That stuff means the world to us. That shows us that what we're doing is actually working. And we said at the beginning of this thing that if we don't end up with the Grant Cardone or Ed Milet level of success from doing podcasts and stuff like that, that's okay. We just want to help better a few people's lives, and we've already seen the fruits of that labor. So that's really freaking awesome. And thank you guys. We love you. Thank you for coming on this journey with us.
Can I share a story?
Please.
Yeah, I want to share a story because when you're talking about, being out in public and whatnot, neither one of us feel like we're, anything super special by any stretch, right? But, you wonder sometimes, it's easy to have those little thoughts creep up in your brain that are like, is it making a difference? Is it working? It's so easy for when you put the effort in, we do the shorts, we do the YouTube, we do the podcast. I do a lot of content on my own, business related. You do as well. I do my hump days and things like that. So it's like, one of those things where when you're putting it all out there, you wonder sometimes if it's really making a difference, right? And, luckily for me, and I know for you as well, with that being said, thanking the people, at least once a week, somebody will reach out to me and be like, hey, G, man, I loved your hump day video. Hit me this way or something like that. But the other day, Rachel and I went to see the Nutcracker and we pop in Parker Garage to have a little appetizer. We're sitting there and we're talking, we're in a conversation, and this guy comes walking up and I can see him, he's coming up to me and he goes, hey, Garrett Townsend. And I said, yeah, man. And he goes, Jeff Toberg, the mayor of Parker. And I was like, the mayor? He's like, yeah. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, what's up, dude? And he's just like, hey, man, I just wanted to say thank you for content, being out there on social, talking about Jesus, talking about God, putting good stuff out there, burn the ships, the podcast. He goes, it's all good, man. Just keep doing it. And it's just not often that somebody actually walks up to you in a restaurant that you don't even know. You know, the dude was the mayor. He came up. It felt really good. And I guess there's two lessons that I got out of that. One is, you know, the first lesson is I feel like it's so easy to put all that doubt in your head when you wonder if you're making a difference.
Absolutely.
If you get it too. And
100%.
And the one thing that I can say, the lesson in that for me is I look at that and go, that is Satan, right? That's Satan putting those thoughts in your brain, because God's not putting that doubt in your brain, right? God knows that you're making a difference and you're doing good for people, but Satan feels threatened. He's going to put those negative thoughts. So if you are one of those people out there and you are putting content and you are just trying to make some little difference and you question yourself or doubt whether you are making a difference, stop doing that, because I promise you, and whether you think you are or not, you're definitely making a difference. So keep doing it. And the other lesson that I got out of it is, if there is somebody else out that is making a difference in your life that you watch or whatever, it could be like an Ed Milet, it could be Andy Frisella, it could be one of these guys, think maybe they don't need to hear from you. They do. Trust me. I know the biggest guys out there. You'll hear them in their podcast talk about their insecurities and what. If they're making a difference in your life, whether it's a Garrett Townsend, shoot them a DM and just say, hey man, you're making a difference. Thanks a lot. I appreciate everything you do.
Or more importantly, if there's a small creator, not just us. If you want to give us a shout out, please do, because
I feel like I am a small creator.
No, we absolutely are. Compared to them, yeah,
Yes.
for today we are.
Yes.
One day we'll see. But if you're watching Burn the Ships and you like our content, chances are there's somebody else doing something similar that you're also watching theirs. Send them a DM, because it will change. It could change their year, because you don't know. Maybe they're on the edge of like, I'm burnt out of this. I don't really feel like what I'm doing is mattering. Just that 1 5-second message from you to them reignites that fire. They put out another video. That video goes viral and changes their life. It literally could be something that small to another small creator. Literally change their life just by sharing some love.
Without a doubt. I mean, Rachel's like, baby, that is literally the coolest thing ever. She goes, I feel like you and Chad, I know you guys are busy, and I know you put out a fair amount of content this year, but she goes, that just shows that in next year, you guys need to step. I mean, that's what
4 to 5x.
That's what she said to me. I mean, this is my wife, right? Just going, hey, you need to step up. You see, you are making a difference in people's lives. So we're going to do.
All right. So for 2024, you and I are both big planners. We're both big goal setters. We believe that to fail to plan is to plan, right? So for 2024, can you give me a small recap on what you would hope to achieve? I don't think either one of us brought our business plans with us or anything like that. So if there were certain goals here or there that you wanted to do, what those goals were, what action steps you took, and what was the result? Because
I'll be completely honest. Being coached and part of, I think, the greatest coaching program on the planet, I slacked in 24. I grinded so hard in 23 without result that I was so burned out. I had some movement in the end of 23, in the beginning of 24, as far as companies go and what, it kind of burned me out a little bit. And I'll be honest and just say this year, me and not even full grind mode, I still grind probably harder than most people in my industry. Could I have done more this year? Absolutely. Looking forward to doing more next year. Yeah. So I joined Sunflower Bank this year. Literally probably the best mortgage company / bank I've ever been part of. So I'm super stoked there. Right? Got my feet wet, know everything we have now, know the bank, know who to go to for what. Everything's really smooth, running good there. I don't feel like I was as intentional as I normally am in my business. I wasn't as structured. I've always been, kind of a slave to my calendar. I mean, like literally from the second I wake up, it's like 5:30 gym, 7 o'clock or 6:30 coffee with Rachel, read my Bible, 7:30 working on my business, 8 o'clock. I literally am so structured that. And I think for some people it maybe takes the fun out of it, but for me, that massive amounts of structure and discipline and intentionality, to me, that drives me. I almost like to be robotic in my time.
Yeah, having that militant calendar, I think that's probably, if not the singular biggest difference between successful and not. It's easily top.
Without a doubt. And so like for me, when you talk about goals and numbers, 20 and 21, my team and I, we did a little over, it was like close to 120. And so great years in the industry. Prior to that, I was always around that 65 to 75 million. 23 and 24 were literally probably the two worst years of my career. I mean, 23, I closed more volume my first year in the business than I did in 23. So, I'm coming off of that. This year going into 25, I feel like I coasted in 24, so I got plenty of rest. There's a lot of things that I think I did pretty good in 24 with relationships, with my marriage, with my relationship with Jesus, all those different things.
Those are the two most important relationships in your life. So if you look back at 2024 and you're saying you did great things in your relationship with Jesus and your relationship with Rachel, you cannot look at 24 and say it wasn't successful. I don't care if you made $0.
Yeah, I didn't help as many families as I wanted to help, but we did a lot of good things this year, right? I mean, just this. I mean, the podcast, we got it pretty dialed in. You know, we got to sharpen up some of our systems and whatnot as far as taking it from here to getting it out to the public and whatnot. But we're going to figure all that out. And I think that the thing that excites me the most, the election is an election year. I mean, that stressed me out.
High rates plus election year do not success for real estate.
And I usually don't go right or left on politics, but I'm just going to say it, dude. We dodged a bullet, man. I mean, I literally thought that we were going to have 4 more years of what we had. It was scary. Like, it scared the crap
just for a small business owner. We're not going to talk.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
It was. So, again, that there's so many good things coming in 25. And it's not just that optimistic Garrett Townsend. It's like, there's a lot of data that shows that there are really good things coming in 25. I mean, for you and me, just so that you guys in the public don't, there's literally about 30%, maybe 30 to 40% of us left in the business. Anywhere from 60 to 70%, I know on the loan officer side, did not renew their license this year with NMLS. So
I know that over 80% of real estate agents didn't have more than one transaction in 2020.
They just need to get out. They don't
and I think they're going to.
Go do something else.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's okay. Because I think that 25, I believe the rates are going to dip back down into the high 5s, and we're in the mid to low 6s now. And I think that gets a lot of people off the fence. I do think that the administration, I mean, obviously the people spoke. This administration, I think people are a little more excited about what's coming down the road for America and small business and economy and all that stuff. So I think that's going to be really good. He's a real estate guy. He knows what real estate means to the American economy. So I think that he's going to do everything and anything he can to help us out in that arena. Yeah, man, I'm just excited for 25, man. I mean, I've set some big goals for myself. My business plan, I don't like to call it goals. I mean, it's just what I have to do. I mean, I hate saying goals. I almost like to call it like a metric. My metric is we're going to help 180 families. I'm putting it out there for everybody to hear because I'm going to talk about it all through the year because I'm going to need your help to help me hit my goals. I mean, obviously, right? And so
180, I love it, man.
Yeah, 180. So that's 15 families. Whether it's refis and helping people restructure their debt, whether it's helping people just save money because they bought in the last couple of years and the rates are in the 7s, deciding that it's much better to buy than it is to rent, which we all know that's the case. Yeah, 180 units. That should put me, depending on loan size and whatnot, that should put me anywhere between 80 and 100 million. And that's where we should be. We hired my new loan partner, Asley Miles, literally the best loan officer assistant in the country, hands down. Dude, and your team is everything in our business. I mean, it is everything. And, I've decided that I don't want the big team anymore, that I can literally do $100 million with a 2-man. That second person, which is more of an admin person. Yeah, man. So, that's the business side of things. That's, we're going to help a lot of people and I'm super stoked about it. With Asley's help, I mean, I just know the level of service we're going to be able to give to people. I'm going to get back on track as far as living by my calendar, getting face to face with a lot of people.
Hey, shout out Asley. If you watch this, and Garrett's probably going to make you watch this, I got to tell you, before he even signed you, he called me and he was so excited that you're even like debating the possibility of coming on board with him. He's like, Chad, I swear if she comes on, my business is going to be rocking because she is just a rock star. And I know you're a rock star. So I know the two of you combined are going to do incredible things. So you made the right choice, and I'm hyped for what you and GT are going to do.
The funny thing is, though, we talked about it. You know me. I'm all about no excuses, right? I mean, literally no excuses. And I made a lot of excuses in 24. I really did. And, rightfully so. I was justified in some of those excuses. Well, in the business side of things, Asley eliminates all excuses for me.
Love it.
So I'm just telling you guys now, if I don't help at least 180 families this year, I've got no excuses.
It was on you.
100%. So there's that. And then, I get a new knee January 13th.
Yep, I'm excited for you
So
on that, man.
physically,
I know how much other than you.
yeah, I mean, so about 4 months ago, it really started just killing me, right? I mean, like it went from level 2 to level 5 pain to level 8 and 10 pain all the time. Yeah, so I'm getting a new knee on the 13th, and that recuperation is supposed to be pretty quick. So I'm super stoked to get into my best shape for 25. I'll get back down to that 10% body fat range and just feel good and look good and have a ton of energy and not be limping around all the time. And, my hips hurt because my knee hurts and I'm compensating and all that stuff. So yeah, that's going to be good. And I'm going to keep trying to be the best husband I can be and keep growing and read. Buddy, at the end of the day, my logo that my wife created for me, my personal logo is God and growth. That's all I care about. That's my purpose in life, dude. My purpose in life is to put him at the center and to grow myself and try to grow everybody around me because I just love growth. Rachel and I talked about it this week. We're going to, there's people in our lives because we have such a small circle and we have such good friends that we haven't invested the time and energy into the other people in our life. And I'll use you, for example. I mean, you and I talk maybe 4 times a week. We do these. We have a very strong, loving relationship with each other, but I still think we can do better. I think that you and I can do more stuff together. I think we can go shoot together. I think we can train together. I just think that there's more growth for you and me as friends, as business partners, as, both on the real estate side and the podcast side. I just think that there's just so much more there. I just feel like 24 was one of those years where I just feel like I coasted. I'm not a coaster.
I agree with you so much.
Do you feel that way?
I feel the exact.
I just feel like I could do so much more and so much better than I did this year. And I'm not disappointed in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not beating myself up over it. I just know deep in my soul, I know I've got so much more to give to you and to give to so many other people and to give to my clients and my team and my kids and my church and other acquaintances in my life. I just feel like there's just so much more. And I'm going to just tell you guys now, dude, and telling you, I'm promising you this, I'm leaving nothing on the table in 25. I literally want to be sitting here at this last couple of weeks of the year in 25 and just look at you and be like, bro, I am exhausted. Like I am.
We should plan a vacation, the 4 of us next, not 2025 January, but early 2026 January. Yeah. Because we're going to be so gassed out.
Just beat. I literally want to be like, bro, I'm going to park on the beach at like 7:30, 8 in the morning. And I'm not moving until 6 o'clock at night. You might have to come roll me over.
Make sure you don't get toasty on one side.
Right. Yeah.
So for my 2024, man, it was a whirlwind year. I probably had the biggest roller coaster year of my entire life this year. Super, super high highs, super, super low lows. It didn't really feel like throughout the whole year. And I'm typically the cool as a cucumber right in the middle, not too high, not too low, just very steady.
Right.
And this year, I just couldn't find my footing. I don't know what it was, but I was super up, super down, and it drove me nuts. I hate that. I love being excited. I love being happy, but I know that getting too excited opens up the door to be completely crushed. It didn't feel like me this year. It really didn't. As far as like business goals, I came out the gate like a monster, and second half really just slammed on the brakes, whether it was the election or what have you. But I have to give a shout out to my team because we did something really amazing this year. Second year in existence, Mile High Home Group hit. And I think that these sales goals and sales awards, like you're kind of you're reading your own news clippings when it comes to like sports. Like I've never loved them. I've always thought they were kind of silly because you're getting an award for doing your job.
But it's good to be recognized.
Sure.
And it's fun to know that you're, well, quite honestly, better than the rest or better than most.
I appreciate it.
That's the fun part of this, right? When you work really hard and you grind hard and even though you don't feel like maybe you did what you could this year or whatever, it just goes to show the people that are watching this, like even guys like Chad and I, even when we sit here and we go, man, we could have done so much more. The crazy thing is we're still doing so much more than most of everybody else.
Right. So Mile High Home Group hit $1 million in gross closed commissions this year as a team, the 3 of us. And thanks large part to Dane. Chris is an absolute rock star. Myself, Chris, Dane. You guys are amazing. But it's called the Diamond Club Award. And that really separates really the great agents because getting up to that is still great from the absolutely elite within Remax, which is kind of the elite franchise. So to be recognized as one of the best as a 3-man team in only our second year was super exciting. It was a metric that we all wanted to hit this year. And it came down to the wire, but we got it. We're going to go celebrate with the wives, go out to a steakhouse or something here during Christmas vacation. And it was really huge for us. So shout out Chris and Dane. I love you guys. Thank you for being absolutely amazing partners. That was super exciting. This next year, we're going to try to double it up, which is a very aggressive goal. But in Remax, there's only one class above Diamond, and that's Pinnacle, and that's 2 million. So double it up, and that puts you in super rare. I'm talking like maybe for a 3-man team, maybe 10 in the whole country.
Yeah. So I just know that you will probably double next year, just based on, I think, some of the conversations we've had and some of the things that we're going to do to dial in a little bit more. Mm-hmm. First of all, I think that the business in general, because of rates, I think when rates drop down below 6, sub 6, which I think they will this year, I don't think they're going to go crazy or anything. And a lot of people are thinking that they're going to go actually up, but I think we're going to see sub 6. And buddy, that a lot of people are jumping off the fence. Plus the fact that half the people aren't even in the business anymore. Plus the fact that you're going to be more focused. You're going to be more intentional. I think you planted a lot of really good seeds here at the end of the year that are going to start to bud into the first of the year and into 25. So yeah, I have zero doubt you guys will do it, man. Like I said, I think that we all know it's about planting seeds, and I feel like even though the numbers weren't where you wanted them this second half of the year, I know you did a lot of good things as far as planting seeds, building brand, all those things that I think is really going to help you in the 20.
The other 2 things that I really wanted to kill in 2024 were, 3: stronger marriage, closer to God, more physically fit than I've ever been. Those are very cliche, but they're cliche for a reason, right? Your relationship with yourself, I always think, circles back to fitness. You treat the one body you have is very tangible reflection on how you think about yourself, right? I did grow closer to God this year. I can absolutely say that, because I don't even think I told you. Well, no, I have told you that I was struggling with my relationship with God a lot this year. Yep. I can tell you that at the end of the year, through going to things with you, going to Red Rocks, going to the marriage retreat we did and the men's retreat we did, doing this podcast, all of that helped tremendously. I've been reading my Bible more lately, which I can't remember the guy's name. He used to be on Logan Paul's podcast, and they broke up. And he went off and did his own thing. And the reason he left is because Logan Paul really mocked his Christianity a lot. He fell into God really heavily. And I can't remember the guy's name, but I really, really love him and I love his content. But this morning, I watched some of his stuff, and he said, Christians who don't read the Bible, how Christian are they? And the way that he explained it was, if your dad wrote you a bunch of messages on his deathbed and passed away, read it 1,000 times and then 1,000 times again. Well, that's what the Bible is. It's everybody's father who left the how-to guide with all the answers for everything. Yeah. But people refuse to read it. So just bought myself and Kyle Kuby, who was on the podcast, I bought, because he got rebaptized, I bought us both the same 1-year Bible. So January 1st to December 31st, I'm going to knock the whole thing out and read it cover to cover. So is that's probably the biggest 2025 goal for me, surpassing everything.
So what is it? Bible?
It's a men's 1-year Bible. So every day is the couple of verses, and you just run through the whole Bible in 1 year.
Get you a copy of the and I'm reading. It's a guide basically for the Bible. Literally, it's a study guide that literally has different chapters and verses, what you're supposed to read every single day. And it starts from the beginning, like the Old Testament, which I'm in now, that I never really paid much attention to. And after you read the Bible, then it gives you kind of like a recap of what
it's really hard to understand. I think King James was written in 1400? Something like that. So sometimes the context can be a little difficult, just like the way Red Rocks and Sean breaks down the Bible. So I'm really excited to do that. And I have to give a shout out to Kylie, because that woman has really changed my life when it comes to God this year. She has not missed a single church service the entire year. Whether she was in person or watched it at home, she has seen every single Red Rock service for the entire year. I think that she completely read her Bible this year. So yeah, Definitely a huge goal this year.
You guys know about the highs and the lows, right? I mean, buddy, you guys had a challenge this year, bud. I mean, like you and Kylie, I mean, you guys had a season that, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And look at you now. I mean, you know, you worked on it. You stayed true to it. Rachel and I got a little bit involved, and you know, we went to that damn marriage. That to me, I mean, Rachel and I were in a great place, and I feel like we went to that, and it just elevated us even more. What I've seen for you guys in that little bit of a season that you went through, that you know, I was worried about you a little bit, right, and worried about her and whatnot, and now just seeing you guys now, and I can just, I guess where I'm going with that, so many people just want to give up. Like I tell everybody, go look at your vows. Go look at the things that you said to each other on that day before God that you promised each other. Yeah, let's go look at that. When you want to quit, go look at that. Yeah. And my buddy, who I love, is no quitter. Here's your wife. And I love seeing people go through those seasons, even though it sucks. You see the strength in how they come out the other side. You guys now, and it's just great, dude. Yeah. Fast forward years from now, I mean, you know, I even told you guys this year, I'm like, I want to see you guys in the Jimmy. What's his wife's name? Irene, the Jimmy and Irene road, where you're helping, where you will be able to about to other couples some of the stuff and the challenges you guys have been through. And
for you guys who don't know, Jimmy and Irene are, I don't know if they're technically pastors, but they are. They are okay. They guest spoke at Red Rocks' marriage council conference that we went to. I'm a true believer that the hotter the fire, the stronger the steel. You can make it through something really, really hard, come out the other side, whether it be relationally, business, fitness. You push yourself hard, you're going to come back stronger. Truly believe that. And yeah, Kylie and I are in a great place right now. Yeah. It feels really, really good to know. I think it's year 7 to 9 of a marriage statistically is when most divorces happen. Years 7 to 9. That's when the sheen fades, time that has passed, that whatever is irking you, eyes wander, whatever happens, that's about the time frame where you're going to make it or you're not. And now that we're through it, we're going to make it beyond any shadow of a doubt in my heart, my soul. It feels really, really good. Looking forward feels exciting again, almost like we're back at the altar and we're looking at our marriage and the possibilities of what can happen. I feel like we're there again. Yeah. So it is really exciting. And 2025 is going to be great for us and for her. And she's in a really good place. And our kids are in great places. So
and
yeah, 25 is going to be.
It's important. I mean, you know, honestly believe that it is so important. It's always your circles, you're going to see yourself, whatever. Truly believe that when you have friends that will pour themselves into you in your marriage, in your life, that lead by a good example, can't help but make marriage stronger. I am 100% dedicated to pouring in every ounce, and I know Rachel is too, into you guys this year.
And vice versa.
Man, I know you'll pour back into us, and it'll make us stronger. And guys, if you don't have that, I mean,
it is hard to get through life without it.
It is. And because it's so easy I see it all the time. It's so easy that a group of wives and together they're talking smack about their husbands, and you've got the group of husbands that are over here talking smack about their wives. And us, you just don't see that. You're not going to see that.
That is a recipe for disaster.
It is.
If your circle just gets together to talk crap about their spouses, you're in the wrong.
You are
in the wrong circle. And if you're doing it, you need to check yourself.
The leader in the circle to say, hey, ladies, dudes, you know what? I'll tell you right now, man, if we were sitting in our group of dudes, a couple of the guys were participating in negative conversations about their wives, I mean, I would have no problem saying, hey, man, to just cut that out.
Now there's a difference.
Find another group to hang out with, dude.
There is a big difference between talking smack and going for counsel. If I come to you and say, this is on my heart, this is really hard, what can I do to help her, or this thing's been going on, whatever. Yeah, that's a big difference than, and that's a positive.
I'm talking about just the shit talk.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so much of it that goes on. So if you're one of those people, cut it out. You need to talk to your friends about things that are really going on.
100% do that. We've done full podcasts about going to your circle and being open and honest about what you need. Yeah. But let's talk about 2025. Give me that Rachel and God are your two biggest.
Yeah, 100%.
So those are 1 and 2. Yeah. Give me 3, 4, and 5.
And the kids fall right under that, right? But I mean, we all know that the wife should always come first, right? Always. So you got, God, Rachel, kids.
Know that you don't like to use the word goal. Give me your next 3 metrics of what you want to see achieved in 2025.
Okay.
You said 180 families. So we'll start
business.
Mm-hmm.
180 families helped. Out of that 180 families, I want to get 180 5-star reviews.
I love that. Yep.
And to me, that's a level 10 experience, right?
Yep.
If it's under a level 10 experience, give me a 5-star. But 180 families helped. I want 180 reviews at 5-star.
That's awesome.
So that's what means everything to me. I mean, the money's whatever. To me, it's when your clients are like, hey, bud, this was awesome. Mm-hmm. That's what means something to me. So that Asley and I want us to bat about I want us to hit about 55 to 65% current client referrals, which means we're doing so good, 55 to 60% of current clients are referring us business during the transaction. I used to with my old team, I think the highest we ever batted was about 48%, a lot higher than most.
That's
right?
spectacular.
Yeah. So I think that Asley, as good as she is, and how I build deep relationships with every single client, I think we should be able to hit that mark. So that's a big deal for me. Cholesterol is getting in line now. I had that stupid heart scan this year, and I guess my calcium was kind of high. So I'm going to eat super clean, really watch the alcohol this year. I'm going to be 52 this year, and we're going on a vacation in January of 26.
Hell yeah, we are.
I need to make sure that I'm in my best shape ever. I was a fat kid growing up.
Come on, I've seen pictures of you at 18.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds straight out of
I got into bodybuilding and won the teen nationals and all that. And so I had that part of my life where I always was in good shape and worked out and all that stuff. But
when you were younger, you were a little pudgy?
When I was like, Bo's
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, from 6 years old, 7 years old to 11, something like that. But my attitude is very much tied to my physical, not only just my physical feeling, like just the energy and the working out, but unfortunately, if I get a little chubby, dude, I don't feel good about myself. No. So I know that for me to get where I want to get this year, and when I talk about being completely exhausted, I know for me to be there, I have to be in my top shape. Mm-hmm. So, we did an episode on train like a pro athlete. I literally want to train like, my life depends on. So we get down to 10%. That's the goal, if you call it a goal. Mm-hmm. Get down to 10% and just hold 10% for as long as I can. This is a lifestyle. Like, hey, I got to go on some crazy diet. Me doing an hour of cardio every day, working out every day, and eating clean.
It's the most sustainable. Crash diets don't work.
Yeah, they don't.
Sure, you can do a crash diet for a week before you go on vacation, or peak week for a bodybuilding show. But if you try doing a crash diet, it's not going to sustain, and you're going to backtrack harder. Yeah. You have to have the mentality that too extreme, it's going to fail. So my suggestion, not to you, but to everybody out there, if you're making that change, which is probably the most popular change for New Year's resolutions, make baby steps. We talked about the compound effect and a whole bunch of other books on the podcast. Yeah. You don't need to get some like Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler level diet exercise program. Start small. Just go to the gym for 20 minutes, 6 times a week. Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be life-changing, but just start there and build on it. Yeah. And as long as you don't backtrack, you just keep making small steps. By the end of the year, you're going to be a gym rat like you.
It's the compound effect.
We
know it. I mean, it's just like saving, right? And so that's the other thing too. We talk about finances, right? Mm-hmm. Finances. I mean, last 2 years, I just said, is the worst 2 years I've had in my entire career. So, I drained all savings and, collected a little bit of debt. And
well, you had the savings, you were disciplined and driven enough and focused enough.
Yeah, to go 2 years.
To have that savings there. Yeah. Because if you didn't.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a rebuilding year. We're gonna rebuild and the money back in the bank and debt paid off, and those are big deals. Super disciplined for that. Mm-hmm. Right, business is doing fantastic. So I finally have someone in my life. What else is there? Obviously the main and most important thing is the God and the growth. I mean, I read my Bible almost every day.
Good, beautiful.
So continue that. I'm not going to say every day because that's one of those small promises that I know I can't keep. Things come up. But most every day, if I can hit the Bible at least 4 or 5 days a week, that's good. And like you said, man, that's made a huge difference for me. Just being in His Word and learning and kind of studying and understanding, big deal for me. Yeah. So
not to shout out every other podcast in the world, but I was watching a clip of I think this guy was a CrossFit coach, and he was sitting around talking to his class, and he said, Every single day, you don't need to come in here and give 2 hours of training. You need to do what you can. If that day, all you can do is step away from your desk, lay down and do 200 push-ups, take 5 minutes to do it and get back to work. Okay, you can look at that day and say, I did what I could do. So when it comes to the Bible, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to sit there for a half an hour and read through an entire book. If you just pull out your cell phone, read 3 scriptures, three verses, Psalm 18:3, like I put on your knife, do that, boom, done. No, you didn't pour into the word that day, but you did what you could do. That's my challenge to you.
Literally,
I want you to promise me you're going to do that this year. Every single day, you're going to do what you can do with your Bible. And you can't tell me that while you're getting dressed, hopping out of the shower, going number 2, whatever, sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
Pull out your phone, read a minimum of 3 passages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 verses. That's 8 sentences.
If nothing else, like I tell people all the time, just read a Bible verse every day.
Just
a verse.
You have 10 seconds somewhere in your day.
Yeah.
Instead of doom scrolling on Instagram when you're exhausted, just read one. Yep. Just to remind yourself.
You and I think, need to continue building our brand, not only for Burn the Ships. You guys hear that cuckoo clock? That won't be there, I promise, in all of ours. That's a Christmas thing. Anyway, we continue to build our brand. Like, people need to know who Chad Cabalka is, dude. You're great on camera. The amount of content that you could put out there that people need to hear when it comes to real estate, you need to do it. So I'm challenging you to put out at least pieces of non-burn the ships content every week that is real estate related or just personal growth related.
So real estate or personal growth.
Yeah.
So no attachment to ships.
You guys hear this? No, not burn the ship stuff.
Okay.
4 pieces. So 4 pieces of real estate, personal growth, whatever, that is not a clip from one of these.
Okay.
So you're doing 4 videos a week.
Things. Okay.
Yeah. All right. The other thing that I'm going to do, and you can hold me accountable, is a gratitude journal. So I'm going to get you and I both a copy of my favorite gratitude journal used that I'm going to write in it every day. So basically, you'll write a couple of affirmations. You'll write the things that you're grateful for. You'll write a couple of things that'll make that day great. And then you finish it up at night before you go to bed on what went great that day, and just put some good thoughts into your head.
I need you to hold me accountable on that.
Because I'm going to buy you the journal.
For the first 3 weeks. I need it to become a habit. I've tried journaling so many times.
Yeah. Well, this makes
it ends up by the end of the first month, it ends up in my drawer, I don't pull it out the rest of the year.
No, I have to. I'll make you send me a picture every day. I don't care what I have to do, but we're going to do that. So there's the journaling, the videos. Dude, I think that people need to hear more from you. I'm going to just say it. You know, the thing that made me reach out to Chad in the beginning when we first did this bromance was he was putting out content, and I loved your content, dude. You're good on camera, and I think people need what you're putting out there. So I think people need a little more Chad Cabalka in their life. I found you on the gratitude journal. You already heard my fitness thing. I know that you're got to have some good fitness goals for yourself.
Mine's the exact. I got down to.
Dude, you'll be a freak show at 10%.
15.2.
You guys see this big ass dude?
I was 15.2 the middle of March last year. The wheels came off a little bit, but not for the last month. I've been back on it.
Yeah,
and I have.
Right? So you got no excuses there.
I'm healthy as a bull.
Yeah, no excuses.
I love my wife to death. That woman has fought so much health crap.
Oh, I know.
So much. She has type 1 diabetes. She almost died from being septic. Almost had her leg amputated. Was in the hospital for 2 months. Thought I was going to lose my wife 3 months after we got married. Found out she has epilepsy. This poor woman has battled everything.
And she
still looks incredible in a bathing suit, dude. It makes no sense. I mean, we joke about it that she's like, God gave me one thing, and it's a high metabolism. She can down a whole box of Girl Scout cookies and doesn't gain an ounce. I look at them the wrong way, and I'm up 10 pounds, which is a beautiful thing because it's really easy for me to build muscle, but it's really easy for me to pack on the pounds as well as an offensive lineman. So yes, for 2025, 10%. It's happening.
Well, and here's a good thing.
And we're going on a cruise in a month, so I'm trying to get down to like 13 by then.
Okay, so that's what I was just about to say is it doesn't have to be immediate. So if you do that, great. Mm-hmm. But the real goal is that we're sitting here next year, you are that lean 10%.
Yep.
And that's the thing, people. It doesn't have to be, these goals don't have to be immediate. And so many people, they jump in and if all these promises to themselves and they don't keep their promises and then they get discouraged and they quit. 99.99%, I bet you.
Quit by the end of January.
Yes,
for resolutions are stupid. Don't do a resolution.
Don't do a resolution. Here's the deal. Set goals, metrics, whatever you want to call them, but then make small promises and have small kept promises to yourself. I was just listening to Ed Milet the other day, and he was talking about the mental state of goals and whatnot. The reason so many people don't achieve them is because they make these mental promises to themselves. They don't keep them. And then you literally lose like a self-respect for yourself.
Absolutely.
And it just,
You start believing that you're a quitter.
yeah.
Because you don't finish when you make a promise to yourself, that is like the most sacred level of promise.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer that for these things that we're planning for 2025 and anybody out there watching, it cannot just be up here.
Yeah.
It
and
has
I'm not trying to achieve these by
pen to paper.
Yeah.
It has to be something you can see routinely.
Yeah.
Put it on your mirror in the morning when you're brushing your teeth. You get to see it. Put it next to your computer screen. When you're at work, you see it. Put a small one in your car. Whatever you got to do to remind yourself that this is happening in 2025.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't a resolution or a goal for January 1st.
Yes.
It's a goal for December 31st, 12 months away.
Right.
So don't quit on yourself.
Right. And don't procrastinate, but reverse engineer it. Because I mean, so many people procrastinate, right? Like, oh, well, I got 10 months to do it. Now I got 9 months to do it. And so don't do that. Don't be that person. But reverse engineer it to where you go, okay, so I'm X body fat now, if it's a fitness goal, and I want to be this, then that means I need to lose X amount per month. And then just make those small kept promises. That means I need to do cardio this many days this month. I need to, take this out of my diet or take that out of my diet. But it doesn't have to be like this. It has to be done by February.
Well, for fat loss is a very tangible one that for reverse engineering, because with business, there are things out of your control. Yeah. I can plant all these seeds, but it doesn't necessarily, there's no promise.
Right.
With fat loss, there is scientific numbers.
Yeah.
You can say every pound is 3,500 calories. 3,500 calories I need out of my body, whether it's through diet restriction or through cardio and exercise. So if you look at your whole year and you determine, okay, I need to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, you can do the math. I'm not good enough. You're the number guy. You need to look at your whole year and be like, I need to cut out 65,000 calories.
Yep.
You can reverse engineer it really simply. That I need to be down 300 calories a week. I need to be doing 300 calories of cardio. And if I just follow those two things by the end of the year, it is a fact there will be that much less fat in your body.
And there is nothing that will drive you more than A, keeping your promises to yourself, and B, seeing the results.
Yep. Take a progress picture.
Because I know for me, I get my knee done. I get through rehab. Come February, based on what the doctor's saying, I should be jamming in February.
Hell yeah, buddy.
And I know as soon as I start seeing those results, start fitting a little different, veins start popping out, I start to see a little shape difference or whatever, that motivates me to go harder and harder and harder. And one of those people that expect to see results in like 1 week or 2 weeks, stick it out for a month and a half. I promise you'll start to see the results. And that's going to motivate you just to go harder.
And a lot of times you're the last person to see your own results. Your spouse will probably see them before you. Your kids, your peers, they're going to look at you and be like, oh, your face is slim. Your arms look awesome. What do you do? And that will also help a lot. So don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah. And if there is a season of your life where you've fallen off, maybe I went a week and I didn't get in my Bible. And I'm like, oh, well, I have to just reevaluate and say, okay, I didn't put out my content, because that's a really easy one. Okay, I went 2 weeks, kid was sick, had 8 closings, whatever. I didn't put out my content. Well, guess what? I have 8 videos. Sometime throughout the year, I got to add those.
Got to make them up.
So I got to make them up. I wouldn't look at those 2 weeks and be like, huh, I went 2 weeks without doing it. I quit.
Now
I'm not going to do any.
I failed already.
Yeah. So don't keep the promise to yourself, guys. 2025, make yourself a promise. Get it out of your brain, put it on paper, and don't quit even if you have a slow week or a slow month. Get back on that horse, remind yourself who you are, and get back on that horse. So let's do that right now. For my business, I want my team to I want to be at 10% by the end of the year. I want to put out 4 pieces of content every single week, not related to Burn the Ships. Okay. I want to finish my year Bible by the end of the year. I want my relationship.
Want to, or you will?
I will finish it by the end of the year.
All right.
I will have a stronger relationship with my wife than I have ever had before. I will add an additional pillar to my business, which is my farm, because I've never had that before. And I started it really hard in December, and I need to stick with that. I will purchase at least one, if not two, rental properties this year.
Nice.
What else? I know that there's got to be a couple other things. I mean, 7 goals. That's pretty aggressive. Big. So those are my goals. No, never mind. Burn the ships. There's 52 weeks in a year. I want us to put out.
How many episodes are we going to put out this year?
48.
48 episodes.
48 episodes this year.
That gives us 4 weeks.
That gives us 4 weeks. 4 weeks. On the beach, busy, whatever. I think
you guys hold us accountable.
I think that's a realistic goal.
Yes,
I
100%.
Do. That gives us 4 mulligans for the year. So 48 with, at least 3 reels each per video. So that's 150 reels, essentially. Can we do that?
We can do it.
Okay.
That we can do. Mine, 10%, 180 families.
With 185
star reviews. Asley, you hear this. We got to do it, girl. I'm going to need y'all's help too, by the way.
Let's just say,
because I already have started it. So I will finish reading the Bible this year. I will write in my gratitude journal every day this year.
I guess I have to add that to mine.
Every day this year. So you got to add that to yours.
We're going to have to clip this so that we can write these all down.
The wife and I, we're just going to continue growing. One thing that I don't even know if I can set it to a goal, but I will commit to, there's a few people in my life like you that I want to make sure that we have one-on-one time outside of this.
Yeah.
Once a month where we plan something, whether we go shoot sporting clays,
go lift,
just go have a one-on-one at a coffee that's not related to this, right? Even though we get a lot out of this, guys, just so you know, this is a therapy session.
You guys have no idea.
But yeah, at least once a month, we've got to do something that is outside of the norm.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that with probably 4 or 5 other people in my life that I really need to focus on. But here's the deal, guys. At the end of this, small kept promises, change the attitude from I have to go do these things to we get to. Mm-hmm. We get to set these goals.
We take so much for granted.
We get to do these things that we do, right? Mm-hmm. We get to do this. This is literally one of my favorite things on the planet is this crazy podcast.
I know.
The other thing is nothing happens to us. Everything happens for us, right? So I'm just trying to give some thoughts that I'm really going to focus on in 25 is instead of saying, oh, I got to bring Bo to practice. No, I get to bring my son to practice.
You don't have many of those years left, bro.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to be driving in a couple of years. He's going to be driving himself to practice.
Yes. I get to go to work. I get to help 180 families this year. That's Luca, by the way. There's just the mindsets that I think that we need to focus on. We all have God's DNA running through us, right? We literally were all built in his image. He built every one of us custom. Can only highly encourage you guys to read A Purpose-Driven Life, literally one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And I'm reading it again right now. It's a 40-day book. You read a chapter a day for 40 days. But to end this, just know that we love you. We appreciate, again, like Chad started out this with gratitude. We appreciate that you guys would watch us and bring us into your lives. And just know that we love you. Jesus loves you. Man, I just wish you guys literally the absolute best 2025. Lean on us. Call Chad. Call me. Our numbers, our contact info is all over social media, all over everything. Don't think that we don't want to hear from you.
Shoot us a DM, leave a comment.
Yeah, if you're struggling with
something. If you got something you need to talk about.
Dude, we're here.
Yeah.
My purpose is God and growth. And growth is not just hitting big numbers and all that. It's somebody struggling with something and they need to get through it. So what else, man?
Cheers to 2024. Enjoy. This is probably going to come out. So I'm hoping we put this out right at New Year's Eve. Go celebrate with your family. Be smart. Don't drink and drive, but enjoy the little break here we get at the end of the year. And guys, go kick some ass in 2025. Whatever that thing is for you, stay committed to it. Stay committed to yourself. Burn those ships.
Burn it. Literally burn it. And make it your best year ever. 2025. I know I'm going to.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you for watching. Peace and love, guys.
See you guys.